my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Keep my wife's name out your mouth. That moment didn't just mark a slip-up for Will Smith, it became the breaking point. His fall from grace hasn't been subtle. It's been a slow, painful crash landing that everyone's been watching. This is a man who once saved the planet in Independence Day, but now relies on AI-generated crowds because real fans won't show up to see him perform. That's not a comeback strategy. That's the public unraveling of a career in real time. At this point, watching Will Smith try to claw back respect feels like watching someone give CPR to a goldfish. Technically, it looks impressive, but deep down, everyone knows exactly how it ends. There was a time when Will Smith was the definition of cool. He could punch aliens, deliver the line, "Welcome to Earth," and no one questioned his place as Hollywood's golden boy. Those days are long gone, buried deeper than his marriage, and that's saying a lot. What we're seeing now isn't just another celebrity meltdown. It's a full display of how someone can completely dismantle everything that once made them iconic. From the infamous Oscar slap to emotional breakdowns over family drama, Will has managed to turn what was once an untouchable legacy into a punchline even AI bots would cringe at. But here's the truth. This disaster didn't start at the Oscars. It began years earlier when Will was still maintaining that perfect Hollywood family man image. Behind the curtain, Jada Pinkett Smith was redefining the word entanglement and making Will look like a man lost in his own marriage. That Red Table Talk episode where Jada admitted to an affair with August Alsina wasn't just uncomfortable, it was excruciating. Will sat at that table, staring blankly as if he'd rather be anywhere else on earth while Jada explained her entanglement, like it was some quirky yoga stretch gone wrong. And instead of dealing with it privately, Will allowed the world front row seats to his humiliation. Memes exploded, the Fresh Prince of Despair, the Pursuit of Sadness. Even 50 Cent slid into his DMs asking if he was okay, and when 50 Cent is the one worried about your mental health, you know you're in trouble. Then came March 27th, 2022, the night of the Oscars. Chris Rock made a joke about Jada's shaved head, and Will stormed the stage like he was auditioning for WWE. The slap itself was shocking enough, but what followed was pure cringe. Will sitting back down and screaming at the top of his lungs, demanding respect for a woman who had already dragged his name through the mud for years. That wasn't loyalty. That was loyalty. That was self-destruction dressed up as chivalry. The fallout came quick. The Academy banned him for a decade, which in Hollywood terms might as well mean, don't call us, we'll never call you. Studios dropped projects faster than spoiled milk, and the once bankable superstar couldn't even land a meeting. But instead of stepping back and reassessing, Will tried to launch one of the most awkward comeback attempts in entertainment history. First came the music. After 2 decades away from rap, Will returned with a track called Pretty Girls. The song was so painfully average that it made his old records sound like Pulitzer-level writing. With lyrics that boiled down to "I like pretty girls" on loop, fans didn't just feel let down, they felt personally insulted. Comments poured in. "This sounds like a midlife crisis on autotune. Even my Spotify is embarrassed. The like-to-dislike ratio looked worse than Logan Paul's crypto portfolio." But Will wasn't finished. Suddenly, he was everywhere. Collaborations with KSI and XQC that felt less like partnerships and more like hostage videos. The man who once had effortless chemistry with aliens couldn't even connect with YouTubers. Watching him try to relate to Gen Z was like watching a dad force himself into TikTok dances. Technically happening, but painful to witness. Then came the interviews. Will rambled about calling Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar for advice, dropping big names as if that proved he was still relevant. But the numbers didn't lie. His streaming stats were embarrassingly low. He claimed Kendrick told him to finally speak his truth, but all that came out was more bland, uninspired pop that sounded like it was written by a committee of divorced dads. And then, the lowest point, the AI concert fiasco. Will posted footage of packed shows, except the audience was clearly fake. Fans had multiple arms, generic signs saying "I love you, Will," and crowds moving like broken video game characters. The irony was brutal. The man who once fought off robots was now pretending robots were his real fans. Social media annihilated him. Comments like, Even AI wouldn't show up to his shows went viral. It wasn't just embarrassing, it was desperate. What makes all of this even harder to watch is that none of it was necessary. Will Smith had it all. He was loved, respected, admired worldwide. Instead of guarding that legacy, he let his personal life turn into entertainment and his career into a cringe compilation. The truth is, plenty of stars have bounced back from worse. Robert Downey Jr. went to prison and returned as Iron Man. Britney Spears had a public breakdown and still got celebrated. But Will's comeback attempts? They feel fake, forced, and calculated, the exact opposite of authentic. Every new song, every interview, every stunt just reminds people why they stopped rooting for him. Yes, Bad Boys 4 pulled in decent numbers, but that was nostalgia talking, not genuine excitement for Will Smith. Everything else has been met with silence, the kind of silence that feels like a funeral for a career. Even his biggest supporters now talk about the old Will like he died the night of that Oscars slap. And that's the tragedy. His career isn't just struggling. It's become a warning sign of what happens when you build everything on image instead of authenticity. For years, Will Smith played the perfect Hollywood husband, the perfect family man, the perfect movie star. But when reality finally crashed through, he had no idea how to deal with it. Instead of facing it, he doubled down on perfection until no one believed him anymore. And now, he's not trying to make a comeback. He's just trying to convince himself he never fell. But the audience moved on. Hollywood moved on. Maybe it's time Will Smith did too, because at this point, watching him destroy his own legacy isn't entertainment. It's just sad. But what do you think? Is there still a way for Will to climb back? Or is this the final chapter of his story?